Hey, what's up?
Yeah. So,
Okay, let's see here. I'm just trying to think what we can do here. Okay, all right. Yeah, I just woke up like 2 seconds ago. I fell asleep.
yeah, I was just about to fall asleep myself.
Yeah. Um, so here's the deal. We're gonna try to reflect on your career. Um, First of all, I should say good afternoon. This is the Industrious Illumination Show, where guests get on business leaders, career people that are trying to find their careers or whatever, just trying to get out there, make their money, and also start a YouTube channel, which you're trying to do right now at this point. And
Yeah, figured it out.
yeah, so let's see, what got you into meteorology?
The story is when I was 11 years old. Just looking up at the clouds and developed an interest in it. And then visited my cousin in New Jersey, and she took me to um, Teterboro Airport. Took me on a flight and showed me the weather office and gave me a book on aviation meteorology. You know, that's how it started.
Wow. Okay. So here's the deal. Okay, we've been through some rough edges in your career.
Mhm.
You have a publication out there, you have a master's degree in the meteorology, and you also have, I think it's the University of Mississippi. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So what made you decide to go there instead of another college? Is it because it's just a top college and that you decided to want to go there?
So Mississippi State at the time, back in 2011, had a contract with the Navy, where if you had an undergrad, then you would get all you had to do was write an essay, and then you get accepted into grad school. So yeah, so I was lucky at that time.
Yeah. It's amazing how things have changed over the years with this
Mhm.
stuff. And then, everybody's story is different.
Mhm.
Um, so right at this point, you know, I mean, I've known you for 24 years now. It's been unbelievable that I've known you that long.
Yep.
And we met each other at Cal U,
Yeah,
and
still remember that.
yep, Cal U Weather Center. And you were basically came in, and you knew some of your stuff, and it took more of a lead. And then there was other people that you learned off of, and then me. Well, of course, we found out we know what happened there. So you know, I used to do the
Yeah.
weather walking around town and stuff like that, and then you put me Bob with my headphones and
Mhm.
you look up at the clouds, blah 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 blah, and telecast radar and all this other stuff, and all these other stories develop and all that other stuff. Um, I think there's one big thing that really got you really stirred up with this, was because of the storm chase. The storm chasing is something that's very, very exciting when it comes to stuff
Oh yeah.
like that. And
Mhm.
stuff like Reed Timmer does, and what is it, Josh Warman and Mike Bettis, and then like the amazing ability of all these meteorologists from the Weather Channel that do their diligent duties and stuff like that. With what they do is really amazing. And I want you to get one reaction here. Let me just speak to this, not in a funny tone and assistant. Some of the meteorologists don't know what they're talking about. What would you say to that?
It could be true in a way, but it's really, the situation. Sometimes uh, sometimes they're stressed, sometimes they're in a hurry. Sometimes the model data isn't right, but but these days, all meteorologists have to have a background and a degree in order to be on TV or in a weather office or storm chasing or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, and what you're doing today is pretty amazing at your job because, I mean, you had just told me this. I didn't even know you were even doing it. I mean, see, that's the thing. I'm not aware of, like, for me, I like to be self-employed. I like to go to school, do the 30 kids in the room thing, and then do my driving, and then do my podcasting, reading my books, school research, and all this stuff. But tell me more about this job that you've had over the last 3 or 4 years, because you say you manage airports in Baltimore and DC, I think it is, and then there's another area. Just explain that a little more.
Well, so I work for UPMC in Pittsburgh, in their in their operations center where with the medical helicopters. We have 18 bases between Ohio and DC, and and we just fly patients around. And part of and my job is I manage the operations center. There's right now there's 11 of us total, and we work with uh, people that are prior paramedics that take the calls from 911 centers and hospitals and set up the flights, and then we work with the pilots and get them safely transported.
Wow, nice. So tell me about your military experience. Tell the people, like, tell the audience about your military experience and like,
Well, let's see. So after college, I spent the next year and a half trying to get a job. Back then, it was a lot of the places that were hiring wanted experience. So I um, I thought I would give the military a try. So I talked to an Air Force recruiter. He couldn't sell me. Then I went to a Navy recruiter, and he did some research and told me the truth. And they even offered me to go into officer school right away. But uh, what I found out is that I would have a better chance at gaining weather forecasting experience as enlisted. So I did that, and I spent the whole time, just trying to gain as much experience and knowledge as I can so that I can work for the Weather Service. Um, and but, spent some time overseas. Uh, spent some time in the aviation center, which was really fun.
what
Did some
countries
maritime
did you,
forecasting.
yeah, what countries did you travel to?
Oh, see, Sweden, Germany, Russia, South Africa, um, England. Uh, where else did I go? Dubai, and I think that was it.
Oh, well, okay. I guess you're the king of going over across seas and doing the other stuff, but I just like to drive around and do my own thing across the 50 states. So there we go. All right, let's see what else we can come up with here. So, what would you think? Here's a good question. What would you think? Did you ever think of any solid moment of quitting your career and changing somewhere else? Or was there a point where you
Oh,
think you're
that's normal. Yeah, that's normal. Sometimes things get difficult. Run, sometimes people choose jobs that aren't good a fit. Uh, and then trying to find other jobs. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't work out. But yeah, there's work times where I was thinking maybe I should try something different. But my heart, in my heart, weather is what I love the most. So yeah, so I'm still, what I'm doing now is a little bit of weather, but yeah, I really do miss the full time, weather forecasting thing. But
mm, okay, awesome. So let's see here. What else can we get into? Tell us about your publication.
well, I haven't published it yet, but um, so in the Navy, in our forecasting book, there was a little blurb in there about something called the Norfolk split.
Mm-hmm.
In that blurb, all I mentioned though, there was never been any prior research on what it is or how it occurs. So I figured for my master's paper, I would try to figure it out. And so I used radar data and past weather maps and 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 knowledge of atmospheric flow and figured it out. And it turns out that the way the waters are the way the rivers and and the inlets are set up out that way creates a whole bunch of meso highs and meso lows inside a squall line, and and then those in itself caused the squall line to split apart.
Hmm. Okay. Interesting. So I'll never forget, what was it? Sometime in February of 2003. Was it 2004? We got this big snowstorm.
Mhm.
And I would never could believe it that they got that much. It was almost like the blizzard of '93 came back.
Yeah, it was President's Day weekend of 2003.
And so it's like
Yeah,
February
February.
20th
It
or
was like
something.
February. Heck, was it February? Either the 12th or the 15th, somewhere around there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it was that weekend. And I remember, I think it was me, you, a couple other friends in the dorm, ran outside multiple times with our rollers and measured the snow and then called the weather service to report the depth.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, too, some of the meteorologists were coming down to the barn hoping school was canceled.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Some of them were actually doing weather forecasting at the bar. And I can't remember what their names were, but yeah, the first day was canceled and the second day wasn't. Boy, I came out to what was it? The food dining area out there in Sorrento. I said, what are you doing calling a half a day here when, like a 2 hour delay when there's still the same amount of snow on the ground? All they got to do is walk down the road. It's not like they have to use the big boots to get there. And said, if you're going to try to debate against me on physics and stuff, you're doing it to the wrong person. I said, oh, I'm going back to the dish room. That's it.
Yeah, I remember walking to the weather building that morning was a bit of a challenge going down that hill.
Yeah, yep. People throwing snowballs at each other and everything like that. But I'm going to just tell you this, like I've said this before when I've met you in person, that you need to do that publication. That publication needs to go out so that you can make a mark for yourself. Because like
Yeah.
it opens up other interviews to other places. Like for me, I've been interviewed for my books. I've gotten the school podcast interviews, and I got this show now, which is rocking along with a lot. It has tripled basically the subscribers. So, and then the views and the likes, and we're trying to take a different approach at it. So, I mean, this is a new swing. You're actually the first guest. We're making a change to where, like, we're trying to invite just about everybody on there so that they get a chance to get on there because of, meteorology. People don't know what even meteorology is. Oh, it's just weather. Well, it might just be weather, but what's happening outside? You know what I mean? 65 and sunny, or it could be like the hellish day in Johnstown when it was rain, freezing rain, sleet, and snow, and I had to drive in the crap. So, I mean, it is what it is. Let's see. What about your different travels and moving? Like, would you say Pittsburgh is still the same spot you would want to stay at? Because I know you've moved to like Memphis, North Carolina, New Hampshire.
Honestly, I think New Hampshire was the most enjoyable just because of the winter weather up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. But Pittsburgh these days is not what it was when we were growing up.
No, no, it
Not
was
by a long
not.
shot.
No, no. I've went through there like 3 or 4 different times, and I go and look back at it, and I'm like, is this Pittsburgh? entering another Star Trek episode or something. I mean, because
The cost of living out here is just outrageous. I never thought in a million years that I would spend this much money for a house out here.
yeah,
So, yeah. I know, but so the paper that I want to publish, I want to see if I can get it into a publication that's weather related, so that other meteorologists can find it and read it. So there's two of them that I know of, but they're both very, very expensive. So, so that's pretty much why I haven't done it yet. So,
yeah,
yeah. So I can use a few options that might get into some kind of a weather publication.
hmm,
So that's what I'm waiting for, is be able to
yeah.
afford to do that.
If you had to say who was your best mentor, could have been Dr. Yo, could have been Dr. Kaufman, could have been one of your officers, could have been one of your bosses at another job. Who would you say has made the best impact on your life?
Um,
It can be more than one person.
yeah, I'd have to say probably um, but so there's a couple of them. So I'm gonna say it'd be Chief Cummings.
Okay. Who was
He
that?
he was one of the one of the um, leaders in my division in the Navy, who was very knowledgeable and very fun to work with and very fun to, and very respectful. So he's one of them. Another person that really was a big influence was my boss at FedEx, because he taught me everything I know about winter weather forecasting.
Hmm, awesome. That's a great feeling when you have people that are willing to help you get to that next level of knowledge. Because sometimes you have to train yourself to do what you need to do, and it's not easy. You
No,
have to retain information, remember, and then when you start to get old, and your memory starts to just fade away. What time was that?
yeah, I'm guilty of that. Yeah, guilty of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's like amazing how 24 years ago I was like 21 and you were 26, I think it was, and we met there
So,
at McCloskey Hall. You were,
yeah,
doing your
I think we were
thing.
in I think we met in the cafeteria while we were signing up
Yeah,
for
I
that.
briefly remember
So
a conversation though, because you came walking past, and yeah, it's just one of those things. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, yeah. So, yeah. Let's see. So, what's up with these? Let's try a couple other questions, sir. What's up with these planes not staying in the sky?
yeah, that's well beyond my understanding. It could be, it could be staffing issues, which seems to be probably more of
Yeah,
a problem. Um, could be people are because of the staffing issues, people are doing things they're not trained to do.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. That's one for the government to figure out.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I see you have your poison t-shirt on there.
Yep.
Let's see. Do you have any examples of your work you would like to show on here, or probably not, right? I just figured it is.
Um, well, let's see. I don't believe I have anything.
I can give you the ability to share. Just give me one
Yeah,
second here.
yeah, I have a share option on here.
Yeah, I have to put it to all participants though. So I just
Mm,
didn't know if you were willing to share your information or not.
Well, let's see. I don't know if I have anything saved here that from the past. Um, hmm, I don't even know where to begin to look for that stuff right now.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
I don't think I have anything.
Okay. Well, if there's a, let me put it like this. So this show, people get on for presentations as well. So if you want to do a presentation about weather, show all your work, I have people, different people that do that. So, not an issue at all. I definitely appreciate your time, Bob, for getting on today, and I will put it up as soon as I can. You definitely have a lot of knowledge. I know you'd whip my ass at it because I just didn't stick with it long enough. Um, and it's still a favorite thing that I do. I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, I'm not like the twister people that almost get sucked up into it, or the guy tries to duck down and then he gets sucked into the damn thing. So
Yeah, I don't want that to happen. Yeah, so
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the other one that I think was really cool. Dr. Worm. Yeah, meeting him was so cool. Yeah, getting to
yep,
see the inside of the Doppler on wheels and all that.
yep, yep. I even said it myself on one of my other shows that one of the most sad times was May 31st, 2013, when that El Reno tornado went through.
Oh yeah. So that new movie, the movie Twisters, the new one
Mhm,
that came last year.
mhm.
Um, they they use El Reno as part of the movie, but yeah,
I
I
noticed
don't know
that.
if it was really in if it was really that or what. But I mean, I actually don't think it was. I think it was nearby where they set it up. But yeah, that was wild. Yeah, that's yeah. I just saw a documentary yesterday on Netflix about Joplin.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, so that's wild.
yeah. There's so many, I mean, there's so many interesting weather events out there that happen. And then you remember them by the date and everything like that. And then, I could go on and on all day about different weather events that I experienced myself and chased and whatever I did, but I'd be here all day.
Yeah, that's one of
So,
the other cool things about being in a Navy is to get to do weather forecasting all over the world. Seeing
yeah,
different weather patterns and stuff. And it's pretty cool.
yeah. Well, I have to give you respect, man, with where you came from the college perspective of the hard life of Dr. Gill and Dr. Kaufman. When they made us write those 230-page papers. Total, I
Yeah,
still disagree with it to the end of this day, but when you look at it, that was something that needed to be in place for you to succeed at the upper grades. But
yeah. I don't even remember what my 30-page paper was.
yeah,
I think it was
so
on acid or something. I don't know.
yeah, but when you look at stuff like that, people are trying to challenge it. And in this day and age, these generational people, kids, lazy.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I would like to see the younger generation spend less time in front of a screen and more time communicating in person and stuff like that. Would be nice.
yeah, unfortunately, that's not going to change with phones, iPads, and upgraded materials and stuff like that. Um,
Yeah, if TikTok goes away, I think that'll help.
I'm actually growing on that channel. I don't want it to go away. So I was against it for
Yeah.
a while, but I was like, whoa, look at this! I got
Well,
followers and everything. So
maybe I just don't know how to use it yet.
the studio's a pain in the butt they use because when you're uploading the thing, the button's all the way outside down on the bottom.
Yeah,
Man, I'm
So
telling you, it's like all this different Murph models and stuff like that, and then you
yeah,
know,
that was actually a good one when it was around. Nowadays it's the one that's the best is called the H triple R.
what the
So
heck's that?
it's
What is that?
uh,
Tell me
it,
about that.
it's it's called high resolution rapid refresh.
Oh, okay.
It's a what the heck is it? It's like a 3 kilometer model that updates every hour.
Hmm.
Uh, and I've been using it since 2013, and it's only missed about a half dozen times. It's pretty good.
What about these other, like, you notice how they show on the Weather Channel or news station, like Karen Rogers on Channel 6 News? I watch her. And sometimes I disagree with the way she does and talks about things, but she is very experienced meteorologist. She's good. You see these Murph models go one way, one another, blah, 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 like doing a cheer or something. Like, I'm going to go this way, I'm going to go that way, this way. What's the difference between that and the other ones?
It's the resolution. Yeah, so some models have a high resolution, some have a lower resolution. So the lower resolution models only look at the horizontal atmosphere. Uh, and the high resolution models look at both the horizontal and vertical. So it takes in more data and it picks up the small details. So that's why year round I stick with the high resolution stuff. Um, and that's why I rarely ever bust a forecast or what. I'll miss something here and there because I'm human, but I completely busted a forecast and where it was opposite of what I put in there. It's rare when with those using the high resolution data.
Yeah.
So it just picks up
Hey,
the
hey, you
picks up the
missed
small
one.
details.
You missed one. You're fired. Oh,
Yeah, and an example from years ago, um, living in Norfolk, they have a sea breeze all the time, and the data from this model picked up the sea breeze dead on every single day from the start to the finish. Had the exact wind direction that was observed, the exact time, um, the cloud cover after any thunderstorms. It pinpointed the exact moment and the intensity and everything. Pretty cool. So yeah, so the way I look at it, if stick with what works. And
yep.
now I know a lot of people will counter me on that. Um, so the GFS is probably one of the more popular models, but it tends to over forecast precipitation. So that's why and it doesn't have the vertical aspect to it. So yeah, so that's why it works pretty good for thunderstorms, surprisingly. But yeah, but it doesn't do very good with precipitation and definitely, especially snow. So if there's like a severe weather event, then I'll probably use the GFS to see what it thinks it's gonna happen. And and now when out in the west storm chasing, GFS can pick up pretty good with the uh, with the uh, with the soundings. When I'm out that way, I'm looking for what's called a shotgun sounding. Where where it where you have you know so a relatively um, moderate LCL and then tons of cape, and it'll pick up the wind direction and the shear and everything. So it's pretty cool. We used that a lot when we are storm chasing, and it was pretty good. But but for winter weather, it's the higher resolution all the way.
Mm.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. Okay, cool. So let's see here. We usually spend about a half an hour, so we've been over half an hour with this one. And I think we got plenty of questions in for you. And this will, you can, if you want to schedule another interview with the Industrious Illumination, no charge. Of course, your friend. I will start charging those soon because I'm rocking and rolling with lakes and views. So here's what I'm gonna welcome you on for a second opportunity to do a presentation on some of the work that you've done.
I don't know if I can figure out how to put something together. Um, I don't know. It's been a while.
There's Google Slides now, the most recent one. The love the schools I work at, they use that way. But if you're an old fashioned guy like I am, I just use Microsoft Office. So
Yeah, I gotta figure out what I want to put on it, but it'll take a
yeah,
little while.
just an opportunity to see where you want to stand with that.
Mm, yeah, yeah. So I was thinking if you can edit some of the stuff about my current job, so just in case anybody there wants to look at it. And,
Yeah, I got somebody that actually does do that.
yeah, it's a decent job. I wish there was more weather forecasting involved, and maybe someday I'll get that, get to that point. But
Hmm.
it's pretty cool. It feels pretty good when somebody's life is saved because of the work. Yeah,
Yep.
just the same as in storm chasing. So I had hired a couple of people recently, and they asked me when I was teaching them weather, they asked me why I like it so much, and I told them, because weather forecasting is a lot more than just forecasting the weather. It's saving lives. You know, and
There you go.
and I told them it's very important. That's like one of the main reasons why people do this is to save lives.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. For sure. All right. Well, Bob, thank you for your time. I do appreciate it, and I'll get it up as soon as I can here. There's certain things that got to be loaded up, and we'll be rocking and rolling. You'll be on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, and also on the YouTube channel that I have. And people usually look at it right away.
All right.
Yep. Appreciate it. Have a good evening out that way, and good luck with the job.
All right. Thanks, man. See you later.
Yeah.